Morning guys, so we are doing the paving, but we had to pop back this morning because we're waiting for the slabs to be delivered, which is any time between 9 and 10. And the stone blokes came out and did the templating in the kitchen, and they've asked for some extra supports for the composite worktops that they're having. So what we've had to do, just quickly show you, a second metal support in there to help brace it. They also wanted a timber support batten in there to help support their joint. I'm not going to try and fit it completely because if they wanted that completely fit, that's just ridiculous. And they wanted a metal support here above where the hob's going to go, so that's one that Howden's actually supply. So that's all done. So we put the metal supports in, the batten in there, and the extra supports in there. We still got to supply a socket for down there and a knob, which I completely forgot to pick up. But I wasn't planning to come here until literally this morning when I found out what time the delivery was going to be. So we're going to get on now. We're going to crack on with the paving. We're going to head over there. It's 8:30. I've got a couple of other little jobs I need to get done as well today. So I'll see how things pan out and see if we can get into some of these other jobs before the slabs turn up. But yeah, that's it. We're on to the next job. See you in a bit. So we are now at the job we was at yesterday doing the paving, and the concrete has gone off. It's made the ground so much more solid and it's going to be a lot easier to work on now. So this is where we had the concrete. Now yesterday this was like a quagmire, but now absolutely rock hard, no movements, all solid ground now. So that's worked really well. So happy with that. So that's worked out really well. So Ricky's now bringing around our sand, sharp sand, and our cement, and then we get the mixer set up, do a couple of gauges, and then we're going to do a row there, so it's going to be level with the brickwork there and slowly go uphill, so it'll be a little bit higher at this end, so we have a ramp or a slope from that end down, so any rain will basically wash down into the garden that way because of the way the natural slope of the land. So hopefully we're not going to have any issues today. Only time will tell really, but we'll see. So stay tuned for that one, and we'll see you shortly guys. See you in a bit. Okay, so slabs are here. We did a rubbish run, so we cleared all the rubbish while we wait for the slabs to be delivered. Ricky's brought me down 20 so far. So this is slabs. Now unfortunately for my client, they've had to buy a whole pallet of slabs just to get this colour. So he's got 68 slabs total, and we need about 24, 25, maybe a little bit more, because we're not, like I said yesterday, we're not going to go right up to the fence. That's why that's still visible, because we are taking that fence down at some point, and obviously we don't want to be damaging the patio that's already there, that's already laid. So we're going to be going short of that. But yeah, had to buy a whole pallet. So we've got our first mix on the go. We've got a 4:1 ratio, so that's 4 sharp sand to 1 bag of cement. So that's your 4:1 ratio. There's only 3 bags in there at the moment and 1/4 a bag of cement, which was left over from yesterday. So that keeps the ratio roughly correct. We are doing butt joints, so there's not going to be any pointing involved in this. It's going to be all butt jointed up. So I'm going to, as soon as Vicky's done with the wheelbarrow, we're going to start knocking some up, getting some thrown down. So we will start here, get our first row in, flush with the blocks here, and then a slight ramp upwards. And then once I'm happy with that and I've got my level looking nice, I can then potentially go across the back, and then that gives me my lines to work to then. So fingers crossed it all goes well. I have done some paving in the past, not a massive amount, mainly just for myself and for family. And I usually do it on a dry bed of sand and cement, but we're doing a wet bed because it's going to give me a little bit more ease. So we will be painting the back of the slabs with an SBR water and cement mix just to prime it and give it a little bit more grab, and hopefully that will help it stay stuck down. So anyway, let's get our first bed down and then we'll see how things pan out. Right, got a bit of muck down, roughly levelled. It ain't right yet. I've got my rubber mallet there. I'm going to put some score lines for it, take some of that out, so that when I tap it with the mallet, it's got a bit of give on it. I've already primed the back of my first slab, so let's see how we get on. Now this is what I would call the definition of a DIY job, because this isn't a job I do. So you're going to have to bear with me, guys, because I ain't got a clue if I'm doing this right, really. And I'm doing this going by what I've seen other people do, and what I've seen the landscapers do, and what I've helped do in the past. So first slab's going to go in, roughly there, like so. I'm going to put a level on that and see how she looks. It might be a little bit on the high side with our first slab. It's a bit of a step there. So once I get the first few slabs in, it won't be so bad. But that's just a little bit on the high side still, so we're a bit high there. A bit high there, so I'm just going to add a bit more down there. Try again. This is one we want to get level this way. Try and keep your mallet clean as well. And then we want to slide. Right, so it needs to a little bit low there. So we'll put some under the back. If you want it to ramp downwards. It's all about getting this first one in. This is literally going to be a DIY doing this, because like I say, this isn't my field of knowledge really. Okay, it's getting a bit better. Okay. And now we've got the slope I need. Yeah. Okay, so that's my first one done. Now I've got the first one in, it can give me a rough idea of me depth that I need to go to. I'm just treating it like a bit of tiling, basically. I'm not going to video the entire thing. But I thought if I did a video of the first few slabs, you can see me making a fool of myself. Let's get this muck spread over. Spread it out a bit more. Hopefully we'll get a bit of a rhythm going eventually. Right. Okay. Obviously you don't want to get this stuck on the front of your slab, so take your time with it. This is just purely to encourage a bond. A bit of SBR and cement. Okay. There's my mallet. A little bit low there. Let me level on that, see what it's saying. Still got the full, but we're a bit low at the front. I'm sure all the landscapers out there are going to have something to say about it. But again, this isn't the job I do day in, day out. And it's not a job I'd want to do day in, day out, to be honest. There is a little trick you can do with a bit of wood with a slot cut out. That's the thickness of this slab, which will help get your beds in. And then what we're going to have to bear in mind is as well, we want to make sure everything is looking nice, neat, tight and butted up. Once we get a few slabs in, it shouldn't be so bad. It's just getting those initial few in. Let the cement go off a little bit. Anyway, you get the general idea, guys. Again, I must point out, this isn't a job I would normally take on. I can turn my hand to a lot of things, but this is not a job I would normally take on. But anyway, now that we've got that point, I'm going to carry on. You guys can come back in a bit. Okay, 2 rows in, and that's it, throw me level on it. And my level is looking pretty damn good. Obviously, going that way we've got full, but as you can see, it's sitting nice and flat. And what I've done, I've actually made these out of a bit of feathers that was left over. So all I've done is I've cut out the width of the slab. I'm putting my bed down and I'm just using that to get a gauge. And then I've got a, oops. Sorry, hit my bloody camera. And then I've got a smaller one just for doing the bit where it meets the shed. Because I had to lay those ones in after I laid these. So we're now we've got that sort of bit in, we'll do a bed going that way now, so I can just come this way with it, keep that level, and then hopefully I can work back this way now. But I've got my first cut for there and the first slab. Obviously I've got my mixer there to prime it all up. So I'm just not going to have a gauge of muck up again, 4 to 1, and then we can carry on. Okay guys, so all bar trimming that bit of weed mat off, we're basically done. Just needs a little hose and a sweep. We laid those last 4 slabs in, but they're not bedded in, they're just laid in on a bit of sand, just because obviously we want to lift them back out later on when we take that fence out. But I think compared to what was there, it's quite an improvement. So we're just tidying up. But that is basically us done for today. So check us out tomorrow, not tomorrow, sorry, Monday we're doing worktop, so come and see us then. Don't forget guys, like, share, follow and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.